Hi, my name's Rob, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about some useful language connected to the latest episode of Word on the Street. The subject of the latest episode was transport and travel, and maybe, just maybe, some of you still want to know the answer to the question we set on Facebook. And the question was, what is the name of the big wheel in the centre of London? And that is, of course, the London Eye. And probably a lot of you knew the answer to that before you watched the episode. Don't worry if you didn't watch the episode. You can watch plenty of the clips, including the language clips with me, on the Learn English website. And we will post the links to those clips and to the related language activities with this video. So be sure to check them out and get some extra practice. But like in all of these videos, I'm going to talk about a slightly different area of language to those areas I spoke about all those years ago when we recorded Word on the Street. Now in this episode, I just watched it and I was looking for something of interest. And what was interesting for me was the moment when Jazz, Stephen and Ashley's friend, arrives in Piccadilly Circus in London. He's quite excited, not only about Piccadilly Circus, but just being there for the first time. And like many people, when they go somewhere for the first time, he wants to take a photo. So what does he say when he wants to take a photo? What would you say in that situation if you want to stop somebody, a friend you're with, in order to take a photo? He said, wait a minute. It was interesting for me because I realised we have lots of ways to say that kind of thing in English. So obviously the verb wait is very useful. If you want to stop somebody, wait is the natural verb to use. Wait. You can also say hang on, or hold on. It has the same meaning. But probably, hopefully, you're thinking, that's a bit rude, isn't it? Well, it can be a bit rude if you shout like I did, wait, hold on, hang on. So we normally use a slightly more complex structure to ask people to wait. Of course, you can just say wait or hang on. But it's interesting to know the different forms we use. You can say wait a second, wait a minute, wait a moment, or hang on a second, hang on a minute, hang on a moment, or hold on a second, hold on a minute, hold on a moment. And you can also use the word just. So you can say, for example, wait just a second, hang on just a minute, hold on just a moment. And for me, just, as it often does in English, just softens the language a little bit. So it makes the request just a little bit more polite, basically. But that may be me. That may be just my impression. Other people might have a different opinion on that. Another word, of course, that you can use to soften what you're saying is sorry. So you can say, sorry, hang on just a moment, I'm going to take a photo. Or sorry, wait just a minute, I'm going to take a photo. And actually, you could say fewer words than that. You could say only just a moment, I'm going to take a photo. Or just a second, I'm going to take a photo. Just a minute, I'm going to take a photo. It's interesting for me because this language kind of shows how you can move words around and keep the same meaning. So, for example, you can move the word minute away and bring the word second in, and the meaning's really exactly the same. Wait just wait just a second, wait just a minute. It's the same. It doesn't mean literally wait a second or literally wait a minute. And then you can bring in some other words like just and sorry, which actually, in my opinion, can soften what you say a little bit. But of course, remember, it all depends on the context, and it all depends on, as well, the way you say something. So if you're shouting at someone, it's probably not going to sound very polite. Probably, it might do. Alright, one other thing I want to talk about in this video is to remind you really of something that I've spoken about before, and that is to notice language. If you notice language, if you remember, you see it or you hear it, you listen for it or you look for it pretty much whenever you're engaging with English. And maybe, just maybe, some of you during episode 5 were noticing some of the language I spoke about before in earlier videos. If so, maybe you heard Stephen say the word mate again, or mate. Remember the difference in pronunciation? And maybe also you heard Stephen say that pizza sounds good. Sounds good. So just a reminder that it's important to notice because it can help you review what you learnt before, and it can really, I think, play an important role in your progress in learning English. So I hope you notice that language. I hope you find that comprehensive overview of ways to say wait useful. And I'll be back after the next episode with more tips and suggestions to help your English. In the meantime, remember you can follow those links to the Learn English website to practice some more.